Yo, what's good? I want to get right into this video, right? I'm going to talk about why spirituality is so important and also how it kind of gets misused and what it's not supposed to be for. And, kind of what the whole purpose of all this is and how to truly, authentically be spiritual and in tune with something higher than yourself because we all come from something higher than ourselves, which is the highest version of ourselves when we're all one. Maybe you don't know what I mean. I'm gonna explain that to you right now. So let me first talk about what spirituality is not supposed to be used for. It's not supposed to be used to please your ego. It isn't. That's not the it's not the point. Um when it comes to spirituality, right? A lot of people talk about it online and it gets like mixed together with manifestation. Like you can manifest whatever you want for yourself. Just be spiritual, then you're going to be fine. That's not what this is about. Granted, if you truly are spiritual, you will have a life that you truly want, but it's not the life that you always think that you want because a lot of times we're just thinking from our ego and our body and our personality. Literally, right? Your organs have certain intelligences, right? Your heart holds hate and also love. Your liver holds what's it called? It holds anger but also kindness. Your kidneys hold fear but also gentleness, and so on and so forth. And I'm saying this because when you're inside of a certain state of health, right, you're gonna think and feel differently. So like if you don't have a good heart, right? Whether it's physically or energetically or both, but like just energetically, if you don't have a decent heart, you're gonna have a bit more hate. It may not even be like a full blown hate, like I hate everybody, I hate everything, but you kind of just experience this certain deep hate for certain stuff that may sometimes go unnoticed. And because of that, you might have certain desires which you wouldn't have if your heart was purified. It's literally just your body making you desire certain stuff. So when you're actually spiritual and in tune with your spirit and the spirit being God, source the most high, your whole entire thought process changes. You start to desire different things. You don't really want the same old things that you used to want back when you weren't really purified like that or holy. Because holy just means to be set apart, being set apart for a certain purpose, for God's purpose, right? Now, what that means with inside of yourself, right? You have a consciousness, you also have this body. To make yourself holy, you literally separate your consciousness from the awareness of your body and from the intelligence of your body. Now you become holy. You become a person who's literally walking in the flesh, but still can have a holy mindset that's not distorted by the flesh. And at some point, you make the body holy because your consciousness can now affect your body's intelligence, instead of the other way around, having your body affect your soul and your consciousness and that higher intelligence that's within inside of yourself. So yeah, it's not to please your ego. That's not the point of spirituality. It's not about manifestation. It's not about none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you what it is about and how it really does help you inside your life and how it's really actually grounded in physical reality. If you're truly spiritual, you will have a very good physical life. I promise you that. And I'm gonna explain why. Just stick with me. But I gotta talk about what it's not for first. It's also not to get fucking brownie points from some big man upstairs and then hope he's gonna protect you and bless you all your life. Now, granted, you can stop bad things from happening and you can get nice things if you align with God slash source intelligence. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like I'm gonna say 20 Hail Marys and then my life's gonna completely change. Now the thing is prayer does work. Prayer that's done with faith. Now, what is faith? Faith is firmness with God, being one with God. You know what I'm saying? Being steadfast with the side of God's will. That's what faith means in Hebrew. You could look it up. What does faith in Hebrew mean? It means steadfast, firmness. That's what it literally means. So with that being said, right, if you're one with God and you're praying from the perspective of actually being in tune with God, then your prayers actually work. If you're praying from the ego, though, it's not going to work. That's why I'm going to definitely butcher this verse, but Christ in the Bible talks about praying with the side of him to make your prayers work. And when it says praying within him, it's praying within that Christ awareness. You know what I'm saying? Praying within yourself as if you are truly the son of God and you're actually aligned with God. And That's how your prayers actually work. And when you're actually one with God, you start to pray for different things. You don't just pray for a Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? You pray for health within inside your body. Now you're actually a healthy person that has healthy functioning organs, and then you naturally function as a decent human being. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. It's all spirituality is not a way to escape physical reality. People do that a lot. They want to become spiritual and leave their body and never come back to the physical, and only live in la la land and don't have a spirit, don't have a perfectly balanced physical and spiritual life. People want to be so spiritual, but their life doesn't look good at all. If you were truly spiritual and in tune with your spirit, the first thing you would take care of is your physical reality. You can't even really work on the higher stuff if you're not really secure in the physical reality. That ass, you know what I'm saying? Now the thing is, niggas who live in the wilderness and they survive like that may really be their way of living and they're secure inside of that. But a lot of people have a certain way of living where they actually don't feel that secure inside their physical reality, but they're still trying to do the craziest spiritual shit ever. It's like, no, if you were truly spiritual, and because spirit means to be of the spirit, which is your spirit and the most high spirit, God's source, the most, whatever you want to call it, right? So with that being said, if you're truly in tune with that, the first thing you would handle is your physical reality. So that way you actually have more time and space to actually work on your spirit and your other spiritual practices. Real talk. So yeah, here's the actual purpose of it. Number one, here's why it's so important to us naturally. Like, let's talk about why it's naturally important to us. Number one, we literally come from God slash source intelligence. So it's natural to want to be attached to our home. And being attached to our home is to be faithful. Because once again, it means to be firm with God. You know what I'm saying? So if you are attached to God, you're just being faithful. You know what I'm saying? And you literally come from God, source intelligence, spirit, the most high. That's why it says that God breathed into us, right? God gave us a piece of his consciousness. You know what I'm saying? So because we literally come from that most high, because we come from that most high God, right, that source intelligence, you know what I'm saying, because we come from the most high spirit, whatever you want to call it, right, we naturally have a desire to want to unify back to that. You know, that's just natural within inside of ourselves, and that's very important, you know, because also our plan for life comes from God slash source intelligence. And without this connection, which is once again faith, that firmness, without that connection, we don't know what we're doing and or how to properly do it. So obviously, like, so like there's different levels of reality, right? We have the seventh plane. I break down the different layers of my Patreon and stuff like that, the 12 planes, and what the fuck they actually, what they actually are, what beings exist there, how they relate to different parts of you. It's my stuff on the Patreon. Go check it out. But link down below. But when it comes to the seventh plane of reality, right? That's where our spirit exists at. Now, your spirit does break off into an architectural spirit inside the 60, and then it crafts out your timeline for this lifetime. That is very, very, very true. However, your spirit comes from oversoul. That oversoul comes from an omnisoul. That omnisoul comes from God. While inside that 70 level, you're still fully in tune with God. Yeah, there's a hierarchy, but everybody inside that hierarchy is just following quote unquote God's will, literally. So on the highest level, your plan does come from God. And if you're not in tune with your spirit, right? Because your spirit is like the party that actually made the plan. And then God at the very highest level is the one that even gave you that plan to make. Because at one point we were all with God, right? We were all one with God. Then we said, you know what? I want to split off from God and experience myself as separate than myself in order to have a certain experience, right? Then there's all this level of manifestation, and then we eventually get here. Now, with that being said, if your consciousness isn't connected to that, right? If you don't actually have faith, true firmness with God, if you don't actually have that, you'll never know what your plan actually is, because now you're operating off of the body. You know what I'm saying? Now the body says, I want to do this, I want to do that. Oops, I feel lost, because it's not your body that made the plan. It's your spirit. It's within inside of your spirit. If you're not connected with your spirit and not connected with God, you'll never know what you're doing on here. You're gonna feel lost. You're gonna be constantly seeking certain pleasure or just seeking something because the body don't know what the fuck it's doing. That's why it's so important. And when you actually know why you're here, what you're meant to do, you start to actually do it, and you also get the methods for how to do it. A lot of people think they found their purpose and that they know why they're here, but they still struggle to do it, which is kind of wild. And here's why I'm saying, if you really think about it, if you know your purpose, right? The only way to truly know your purpose is to reconnect to your soul, your spirit, and God, right? The Most High source, whatever you want to call it, right? That is the only true way to know it. And then once you know it, you also instantly get taught how to do it, what to work on first, what to work on second, when to go out inside the world, when to be with inside of your own space. You know what I'm saying? How to talk to certain people, what to talk to them about, what kind of friends you should be around. You have all this already ingrained inside of yourself, you know, literally. So if you think that you found your purpose but don't know what you're doing, it's like, how does that really work? Do you really know your purpose, or are you just following an idea of what you think your purpose actually is? You see what I'm saying? Because even with me, right? So look, I give certain readings, right, that could tell you about your soul's purpose. But at the same exact time, if you read that shit, right? Like let's say you read that shit and it don't resonate, right? Let's say let's say that like you like I'm accurate. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a very like niggas be reading my shit and they like, yo, this shit resonate, bro. I already be doing some of this shit. This shit crazy. Like my readings be on point. But let's say it wasn't on point, right? Let's say that I said you're meant to be like a fucking chef, but you have no desire to fucking cook. You might hear me say, you know what, I should be a chef and that's my purpose. But you kind of get lost. You don't know how to actually be a chef. You don't know the proper steps to go about this shit, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? That's because that's not actually your purpose. So I'm saying that because sometimes you get ideas from the outside world, whether it's from your parents, whether it's from a YouTube video, whether it's from an Instagram post, whether it's from school, whether somebody told you it, like a spiritual reader, whatever. Some there's times where you literally get these ideas from the outside world, and then you think, oh yeah, that should be my purpose. But you're gonna get it from within. Now, like I said, I do help niggas find their purpose. Like I'm trained to do this, like on a like literally I've went through several different life coaching courses. There's certifications right behind me over there. You know what I'm saying? There's certifications, and I have way more than this. I have way more than what's on this wall. Believe that. That's on my soul. But I have like actual like physical psychology training for this shit, but then also simply just intuitive spiritual understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like I could literally just read your soul. You know what I'm saying? I could either read your soul or do it this way, the psychology way. Either way, my shit be accurate as fuck. That's why my shit always resonate. And when it came to me doing that, I was guided to learn certain stuff. I learned this shit first, then the intuitive woo woo spooky shit. You know what I'm saying? And I could do both ways, and I could actually mesh the two. You know, and I was trained to do that with inside my life. You know, like when I tapped into my soul more, I just knew what I had to do, and I just did that shit. And I'm very good at it. You know, I'm good at what I do. You know, just because I actually want to do it though. You know, so like I know like I ain't gonna say who, you know what I'm saying? Actually, I know people I know certain people like this actually. I know people who like have tried to like do like they like went to like a certain kind of school, you know what I'm saying? Like after high school they went to a certain kind of school, or they took like a certain kind of class or did a certain kind of course, and then when the final test come they failed that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's because they usually didn't want to do it like that. You know, like because if they really cared about that thing, they would actually study way harder, nigga. Like when it came to me, right? I passed on my courses, you know, because nigga, I actually wanted to learn that shit. I wasn't just learning it just to learn this shit. I actually wanted to learn that shit. I actually wanted to do that shit. I wanted to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Even back in high school, computer science, right? I was taking that serious as fuck at one point. I really wanted to do that shit. Therefore, I would get good grades in that motherfucker. I would pass all my tests, my quizzes, all that shit. I really wanted to do that shit. Now, at some point, I stopped wanting to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I started going downhill. I didn't want to do that shit no more. I still got good grades. Don't get it fucked up. But I ain't get a certain certification that I could have got. I think it was for ethical hacking. That one. I don't think I actually passed the test for that shit. I might have, but I don't think I did. I don't think I did because I didn't even really. Because the thing, I found that shit cool as fuck, but at that period of time, I became spiritual. I was awakening. I was tapping into my soul. And I'm like, nigga, my purpose is to do X, Y, and Z, nigga, not this shit. So I didn't want to do it no more. Then I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't go full through with that shit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, long story short, bro, spirituality is very important inside of our lives. Without it, we don't know what we're doing or how to do it. That's why life is actually so lit, because life will show you if you're doing the wrong thing based on your circumstances. So with your emotions, if you literally feel lost, that's a sign right there that you're not connected. Like if you feel lost, that you should see that shit as a sign as your fucking soul saying, "Nigga, connect back to me." Your soul is screaming. Your soul is screaming. Your spirit is screaming. God is screaming at you, saying, "Nigga, come home. Tap into yourself, nigga." What the fuck? That's why you feel lost, literally. You need that. You need that connection. You know what I'm saying? Niggas knocking on the door. Nigga, open the fuck up. Listen, please. Come the fuck back home. Nigga, you tripping. That's what's happening. When your life is going out of whack. Now the thing is, right, there's two sides to this. Because sometimes your life is gonna like fall apart. But if you know why it's falling apart, that's different. Cause like let's say you lived a certain kind of lifestyle, right? But then you became a whole new person. That whole new person might want a different lifestyle. Therefore, they have to kind of get rid of their old one. And while getting rid of their old one, shit's falling apart. But that's because you chose that. You're not confused. You're not feeling lost. You know what's happening. I mean, when your life is falling apart and shit is happening, you don't know why the fuck it's happening. That's a sign that's saying, nigga, tap in. You know, this shit is literally a dream. You know what I'm saying? And inside your dreams, there's times when things happen to make you more aware, but you don't always peep that shit. It's the same with real life. You know what I'm saying? Things happen in real life to make you more aware and to spike your awareness to get you back in tune with God, source, the spirit, the most high, all that shit, right? But you niggas don't always listen, and then your life gets worse and worse and worse and worse. Literally. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, your life could fall apart when you know why it's falling apart. That's like organized chaos. You know what I'm saying? It's like shit is falling apart, but you organize that shit. It's on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Mad niggas should be going through bullshit. That should just be chaotic chaos. I mean, they're still organized on the highest levels of existence, but they don't know what the fuck is going on. And it's just like, why is this shit happening? You know what I'm saying? This is where God comes into play. This is where spirituality comes into play. This is why you get to connect with your soul, your spirit, and the Most High. This is why you do these things. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't have a good physical life without that shit. Even niggas who are rich as fuck, they still taking cocaine and drugs and shit. They still don't got happy homes. They can't get a good girlfriend or boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Niggas be fucked. Niggas. Like, there's a way to master all facets of life, and you do that by being in tune. Now, granted, when you get in tune, you may get told that you're not meant to master certain shit. Like some niggas get in tune and they get told they shouldn't have kids. You know what I'm saying? They feel that shit inside they so that they shouldn't have kids. Okay, that is one facet. That is one facet of life. That is one facet of life which they will not master with inside of this lifetime, but they're not supposed to. Had they not known that, right? Had they not gotten in tune with their spirit and been called to do something that doesn't require kids, they may have had kids, and that life was horrible. The kids, they could have been horrible parents because they didn't listen to their soul when they said don't have parents, when they said don't have kids, whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? So there's so much to this shit. There is so much to this shit. I could explain why it's important in so many ways, but long story short, it's because number one, you come from the spiritual planes. So you want to be connected. And number two, you can't live a good life on earth, and you won't know what's happening on earth if you're not connected. Those base things right there is why spirituality is so important. You see? Because it's important. It's important because you got to literally become aware of your soul, your spirit, and become aware of God and connect back to then actually live your proper life on earth. You know what I'm saying? And then return back to where you came from. But I could keep on talking. I'm just end the video right here. All my links are down below. I love you all. I'm gonna catch y'all in my next video. Go fuck what you want in Patreon, courses, all that shit. Peace the freak out.